everyone, I'm Allie Falley.
And I'm Jamiris Dornan.
Welcome to this year's first edition of the Blue Wave Sports Show. On today's show, we will see how the men's and women's basketball teams did in their recent games, including a big showdown against rival FIU.
We will also take a look at Lane Kiffin's first order of business as FAU's new head football coach, recruiting. We will look at the impact on signees as National Signing Day was just last week. Our college football panel will discuss that impact and what it could mean for the upcoming season.
We will also take a look at the men's tennis team as they have gotten off to a great start early in the season, as well as our first edition of Sela's Corner. All of this coming up on the Blue Wave Sports Show. The FAU men's basketball team has been in a bit of a slump, going 2-5 so far in 2017. Fortunately for the Owls, both wins have come against rival FIU, home and away. FAU took care of business at home on January 7th with a 73-64 final. FAU experienced tough losses by 5, 2, and a 1-point loss to the UTEP Miners in overtime in their next 3 games. FAU closed out with an 83-65 win, giving them the sweep over the southbound rivals of the season. The Owls are currently on a 3-game winning streak after defeating Charlotte and Old Dominion as well. The team looks to continue their winning ways against North Texas on Thursday.
The women's basketball team hasn't fared any better with the changing of the year, taking a 4-8 record into 2017. The Lady Owls have gone winless in their 7 games this year. Tough losses have plagued this team, with 4 of the 7 losses coming by less than 10 points. The FAU and FIU game on January 26th in Boca provided much excitement for the team. Leading after 3 quarters, the Owls looked poised to end their losing streak. FIU sent the fans home disappointed, outscoring the Lady Owls by 9 to steal a 65-60 win. The Lady Owls sit at 4-15 and 0-8 in Conference USA, as they look to get their first win of the year when they hosted the Charlotte 49ers last week. Jasmine Montgomery was at the Borough for the action.
Hey there, Owl fans. I'm Jasmine Montgomery here in the Borough as the FAU Owls take on Charlotte 49ers. Let's check it out.
Another tough one for the Lady Owls. National Signing Day was February 1st, as colleges around the country were looking to secure their athletic teams for the next couple years with talented recruits. Lane Kiffin, FAU's new head coach and former Alabama coordinator, was hired last month in hopes to attract more talent to the school.
The program hired Kiffin, hoping the name recognition and credibility would bring more recruits to FAU. Mission accomplished, as the Owls finished with a top recruiting class in Conference USA. We have our college football panel ready to discuss the impact of Kiffin on what was an eventful recruiting process.
Welcome to the Blue Wave Sports Show, Signing Day Analysis. My name is Edward Gills.
And I'm Avery Roberts.
So, Avery, what do you think about the new recruits coming in?
I think it was a pretty solid class this year. It was the #1 recruiting class in Conference USA. We got to start off with the new quarterback, DeAndre Johnson, who from Eastern Mississippi Community College. He's a dual threat. He can run the ball and stretch the field vertically. You also got a safety, Amon Ross, from the Bowles School in Jacksonville, who can come down and help in the run, but also is a threat when you throw the ball. Any recruits catch your eye?
Well, I would say DeAndre McNeil, the wide receiver who was supposed to go to UCLA. is coming over here, so that's a great addition. And also Tim Boner, I believe, will be a very great addition to this team.
So we did get a new coach, Lane Kiffin. What do you think he's going to bring to the team in his first year as head coach?
Well, I think he will bring a different mentality because a lot of times it's not really talent that determines who wins games, but the mindset of the players. And if they have a great coach, I think they're going to have a great season.
I got to agree with you there. I feel he's going to bring a winning pedigree. Working under Nick Saban and working at programs like Tennessee and USC and also coaching at the Oakland Raiders, he brings a different type of experience level to FAU that they haven't had in a while.
Exactly. And you could tell that by the switching of the coaches, the back and forth, that we really needed a stable person to come and take back. So what do you think is going to happen this upcoming season in addition to this ad?
I feel like we'll be successful. I'm not saying we're going to be any world beaters, go 12-0, and all that. I'm saying we have a good chance winning at least 6 games, maybe more, and going to the postseason for the first time since 2008. What about you?
Well, I'm just looking forward to the FAU community now coming out because if there's a better momentum, there's better attendance. That's what I'm all about. It's not simply winning the game, but bringing the school together because I think football is very imperative as a college student.
Yeah. There's a different buzz around FAU with Lane Kiffin coming in, the new recruits coming in. Everybody's looking a little more hopeful than they have in the past years.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's it for us. Now back to you.
Great stuff. We will see what he can do next year as we take a quick look at the schedule here.
Switching gears to tennis, the FAU men's team has gotten off to a flying start early in the year with a fantastic 4-1 start with set sweeps over Mercer and St. John's 4-0. Junior Remy Chancerelle has been perfect in winning all 3 of his single matches. The team looks to continue its hot start when they host Troy on Friday, February 3rd at 2 p.m.
We have the first edition of a new segment this year, Cella's Corner, with our very own Brandon Cella.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is Brandon Cella for the Blue Wave Sports Show, and today we're trying out a new segment. It's called Cella's Corner. Catchy name, right? It's your spot for all wrestling news for the 3 people there who are watching wrestling right now. And the Cella Corner starts now. So the first story is probably the biggest story that's out right now is the cleaner Kenny Omega staying in New Japan Pro Wrestling for the foreseeable future. It was rumored that Kenny Omega was going to jump ship to possibly go to WWE and possibly make an appearance in this past Royal Rumble, but he came out on Dave Meltzer's podcast to say that he will be staying in New Japan Pro Wrestling for a year. That's what the rumors are for his new contract. He's going to try and build up the brand of the Bullet Club, which he's the leader of, the Elite, which is him, Matt, and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, and try and get after the elusive IWGP Heavyweight title that is currently being held by Kazuchika Okada. Kenny Omega fought Kazuchika Okada in January for the IWGP Heavyweight title, and the match received a 6-star rating, which is unprecedented of any of Dave Meltzer's rated matches. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes, what will his next move be? Will he fight Minoru Suzuki of Suzuki Gun? Will he go back to being a junior? Who knows? So the next story is Seth Rollins re-injuring his knee. In a segment this past Monday Night Raw, he was supposed to confront Triple H at the end of the show, but then Samoa Joe surprised and attacked Seth Rollins from behind and got him in a coquina clutch, and his knee buckled. You could see it on the video, and they actually communicate with each other to say if they're all right, and Seth Rollins says, "I hope so." We're not sure if this is a kayfabe injury or not, if this is real or a staged event, but it's unfortunate to see because plans have been showing that Seth Rollins was supposed to face Joe at Fastlane, and Rollins was going to go on to face Hunter at Mania. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of these plans and if Rollins is actually injured. And in a surprising and bit controversial news, Randy Orton won this past Royal Rumble, setting up his second win of the Royal Rumble match, last being in 2009, going towards WrestleMania 25. He's currently with the Wyatt family and on the SmackDown brand, so it's looking like he will be going on to WrestleMania to face the WWE champion for SmackDown. But there is still a pay-per-view to come with Elimination Chamber on the horizon, so the title could change hands. Currently, the WWE title is being held by John Cena, who last defeated AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And it's rumored that Cena will drop the title to Bray Wyatt at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and then it'll go on to be a program with Bray Wyatt finally facing off against Randy Orton in the Mania main event. Now, this comes as a bit of a shock and surprise because it was rumored that surprise entrants such as Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, as I said before, would come out and possibly win. But the odds-on favorite to win the Rumble, Randy Orton, did end up winning. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this. And now for some upcoming events. The Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, as I said before, will be the next WWE pay-per-view. It will be headlined by the WWE Elimination Chamber Championship match. Come fumble those words or whatever, but you get what I'm saying. And it will be headlined by Cena defending his title against AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Baron Corbin, and Bray Wyatt. And that match will sure to kind of foreshadow what we'll be seeing for Mania. And in New Japan news, we have Kazuchika Okada defending his IWGP Heavyweight title against Minoru Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki, along with the Suzuki Gun, came out the day after New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 11 and attacked Okada. So this will be the match that precedes that attack. And so we'll be interested to see what comes of this match. Will Suzuki win? Will Okada retain? And what will happen with Tetsuya Naito, with Kenny Omega, and several of the other title contenders in New Japan. And finally, I'm going to give you a match to watch. Yes, this is the part of the show where I tell you about what kind of matches I've been watching and what you should be watching. And this match is Ricochet versus Will Ospreay, May 27, 2016, the best of the Super Juniors in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can find this possibly on YouTube. If not, go to Dailymotion or just go to New Japan Pro Wrestling World. I watched this match a bunch of times, and it's still one of the best matches I've seen yet. Just the acrobatics and just the dead-on timing of everything. It just looks so clean. While the theatrics may throw it off from the real aspect of the match, I still find it enjoyable from, a match like Flair versus Steamboat or Flair versus Dusty Rhodes. It's its own, niche kind of match, and I really think that it gives a different context and different flavor to the usual New Japan Pro Wrestling matches. You have, the matches like Okada and Omega, which are very serious, but then you have Ricochet versus Will Ospreay, where it's just a bunch of flippy stuff going on, and it's just craziness. So I would say to watch that match. So signing off, this has been Brandon Sella, and you've been watching The Sella Corner.
Good stuff, Brandon. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of the Blue Wave Sports Show.
Feel free to follow us on all our social media accounts. Thanks!